Hello, gorgeous. I'm the Fairy Voice Mother, and today I'm going to be analysing Still Loving You official video by Scorpions. Not the Scorpions, it just says Scorpions. In general. I'm a contemporary voice specialist. I love voice anatomy and science and music. And in the video you're about to watch, I'll be hearing this song for the first time and analysing it on the fly. I like to go into detail. I have a tendency to nerd and over nerd. Get your finger prepared on the skip button, just in case I get too much. Whenever I react to analyse anything classic rock, I always get loads of comments like, there's no way you could possibly not have heard. When this song came out in 1984, I was still an egg and sperm cell, and I would remain that way for the following 13 years. It's not that I'm living under a rock or anything, I just hadn't even begun cell division. There are many huge bands that have unfortunately slipped my net. But the most important thing is that you are helping me change that one video at a time. So thank you for broadening my horizons and making sure I haven't missed out on wonderful music. For those of you that didn't know, I have released an album. There are two designs of t-shirt, and I'm not going to wear this one out because that'd be a bit narcissistic. It's got my face on the back. But if you want to wear a t-shirt with my face in the back, I'd be most delighted to send you one. Oh! Beautiful. Oh! Oh!
It's time to win your love again.
Oh. Oh God! This is gorgeous. Being sucked in by the musical complexity and the vocal complexity at the same time. It's so transformative in terms of your mood. It's almost as if you go through a wormhole. And what's so fabulous about it is it's not immediately obvious why it's complex. What I noticed straight away was that this version anyway is not in a key that we know. Trust me, those 12 notes that we use here in the West are rattling around in my head all day long. And none of them present themselves in this section. It's not this.
Time.
And it's not this.
Time.
The jump between two notes on the piano are called semitones, and so what we can call this is a microtone in between those two semitones. So it's enthralling, even subconsciously, because we don't hear these notes hardly ever, unless you listen to a lot of Eastern Arabic music. It was truly beautiful the way they had that intro in two sections. The first section was to introduce this riff, and then the second section was to kind of reinforce it. The riff, by nature, is polyphonic. It's not just ba, 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 and it isn't. You need both of those together to comprise ba, 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 that, what's it called? Motif. Sorry. It's very, very classy. The upper layer, if you like, of this riff, the second time it actually goes down the octave and that makes it sound bigger. We would perhaps assume the higher you go, the more anticipation it builds, but it's not so much about the notes themselves, but it's the dynamic and the strength and weight that we give them. The equivalent of that in the voice would be if we were to do this same riff in mode 2, what some refer to as head voice, but those same notes with thicker vocal folds and more weight, or mode 1, or chest voice, we would get. So knowing how our instrument works and what it's capable of, whatever it is, guitar, piano, voice, is really the difference when you're trying to convey emotion in a more nuanced way. And that actually leads us perfectly onto this man's incredible voice. He's so gracefully plunging in and out of mode 1 and mode 2. So mode 2 when he begins.
Time. It needs time.
A gap between his vocal folds, which is where you get all of this hiss through. It's so light. And we get time. It needs time. But we don't get to win back your love again. We got
To win back your love again.
a switcheroo. Time. It needs time to win back your love again.
I will be there.
That one was super drastic with that glottal onset, which means an sound to introduce that phrase. I will be there.
Fight.
Oh, is this a live performance?
Baby, fight. To win back your love again.
Crikey.
I will be there. Only love can break down the world someday. I will be there. I will be there.
I love how that bold and bright lead electric guitar there just sort of, hello. It was allowed to slap us in the face because of how demure and, don't say mindful, calm the music was underneath. And it's almost as if that bold electric guitar gave the singer permission to come in with the fight.
Fight. Baby, fight.
Strong. When a vocalist is as good as he is at singing in both those modes, they are so liberated to tell an intricate, nuanced story because they can add intensity and take it away at any time. It isn't just about sort of singing and then fucking shouting. That doesn't sound good, in my opinion. The point is control, right? And part of what that means is to be able to sing those strong notes in a way where you feel like you don't have to bellow them at people. And that's what he's done here. If you notice how he sings the word bring, I want you to really hear.
Can bring back your love someday.
Can bring back your love someday. Can bring back your love someday. And there is a very good reason why. And I'm going to tell you if you want. So these are your vocal folds. It might come as a shock to you that your vocal folds are actually 2 fingers on my left hand, but it's true. Now, when they're doing the preliminary part, love, only love, they're all separate and floaty like that. And then when we need to bring them together to get that big sound, they have to zip up and they have to stretch. And what we really need in order to maintain this zipping up and this stretch is sufficient pressure. Part of this pressure will come from underneath, from your lungs.
Lovely.
So for all of this lovely pressure, we can keep them nice and stiff to bring back your love someday. But my mouth there was just flapping in the breeze. It was moving willy-nilly. The sound was just flying out. And it was making my voice work way harder. It was putting it under more strain. When we pay attention to what our mouth's doing, it's particularly to keep it more like here, we are beautifully and meticulously managing that pressure, allowing our vocal resonance to happen in a smaller, well-designed resonating chamber. We don't need as much pressure from underneath anymore. So the way he sings the word back as meh. Imagine, bring back your love. That's a huge pressure boost that would have made that sound come out massive. But by minimizing the b into a m, we don't get that huge fluctuation in pressure anymore. So we've basically managed to minimize that effort so far for to bring back your love, nice and dropped, and that's really cool. But then the next thing he does is also really cool when he does someday. He lifts the tongue for someday.
Bring back your love someday.
Again, minimizes the space and makes everything resonate automatically smaller, as opposed to if he was to do someday. Huge amounts of sound generation that is exhausting and super difficult to control dynamically. Because this is just our starting point. We've got complete creative freedom because we put in those foundations to bring back your love. So. Oh. This first chorus is so excitingly spacious. The elements that are in there are beautiful, but it feels like there's so much more space for something else to come in. So it makes me wonder if they will bring that in a second chorus. I mean, maybe I'm biased, but I can totally imagine like,
I would try to change things that you love.
As a vocal arranger, I'm obviously biased, but I think it's because the tempo is so slow. It's such a What is that? According to my tapping skills, this is 54 BPM, so like less than 1 beat per minute, which is really slow. And because there's such a long distance between the notes, I think that's probably why I would want to fill it harmonically instead. His voice is so beautiful and soaring. I love how he finished that chorus kind of in tandem with the guitar riff, the way it went down very deliberately. Maybe those little bops told the guitarist when to do that riff so they could do it down together. But yeah, love that to bits. I just noticed those oohs. Ooh, they're beautiful. It really contributes to this vision of breeze. Wind whistling, you know, very atmospheric, delightful, delightfully atmospheric. Woo! Nice bold statement to match the bold statement in his trousers. Oh, that didn't, I mean, as in like the stripes are bold. The bold statement, that is his trousers. All right.
Try, baby, try to trust in my love again.
So many textures.
I will. Just share every thought away. I will. You ain't guided all the way from the start. I would try to change.
Maybe I wasn't so wrong about my initial comment. She looks very impressed. Let's talk about other bold statements. Every time a note is played, it's so meaningful and you notice it and it's in your face.
All the way from the start.
So punchy because of how locked in they are, and that's really difficult to do actually. When you're playing to a slow tempo, it's very tempting to speed up. You have to be clever enough rhythmically to find exactly where that lands, because it's not fast to the point where you can just get into the swing of it. There's so much gaps, right, between the notes that you have to feel it so deeply. The guitarist, the bassist and the drummer are so locked in and they're carrying this groove so well that the singer does have creative license to kind of go a little bit early or a little bit behind when he needs to. And he needed to when he made that big, bold statement. I've said the word bold so many times, but it's apt. The love. He comes in a little bit early as if he is so eager and full of anticipation to just tell the person in question, love, I love. He really needed to get that message out. Just shouldn't be thrown away. So it makes sense that that should be a little bit rushed, because if that was like super locked in with the timing, love, it loses a lot of the rawness. And so that's why it's really relevant that the rest of the band are so locked in rhythm-wise, because he has permission. If they were all swinging the rhythm, it would sound like a big mess. Upsetting. These movements maybe help. Everything has been very much on the beat. All of a sudden, we've got... Yes, I've heard your pride. It was on a semiquaver, or 16th note. If I articulate the rhythm now in semiquavers, you'll notice. Yes, I've heard. I'm still loving you. I'm still loving you. Oh. Lovely. Lovely backing vocal. Oh, it sounds like it's fading. That's the end. Oh, that was gorgeous. I would describe this song as classy and glamorous, because what they left out was just as important as what they kept in. And it was surprising and delightful because of that reason. We can appreciate times when they did that syncopated rhythm, the guitar moments leap out of the song and slap you in the face. The changes in the vocal performance going from light to dark are so evident. We notice them and we appreciate them every single time. It's a well-recognized concept that in music, sparseness is both difficult and necessary to make something truly outstanding. It's like Mozart once said, Stille ist sehr wichtig. It means like the silence is in the notes or some shit. Hang on. The music is not about the notes so much as it is about the silence between the notes. What's so special about it for me is the vocal melody of the verses. I just love the interval. To win back your love again. I think it's the minor sixth. I love minor sixth intervals. This smooth, rich, little bit distorted, delicate when it needs to be a voice. It's the ultimate tool for expression. Things were expressed today. Before you head off, let me read you today's oracle card, which is not in its usual spot. Found him, sorry. The sea cucumber of success, to tell you, you are the only person qualified to define your own version of success. Do not compare your win with someone else's. To think one is worse or better than another is the chatter of the ego. We are all equal, and our success is for all, not just the one. Think of your little wins as universal high fives, bringing positive energy to whoever might be affected from your achievements. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, you gorgeous bean. I hope you enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. If there are any singers, music performances, musical movies, or anything musical at all that you'd like me to react analyse on the channel, please do let me know down below in the comments. You can also join our Patreon for priority requests. And if you're joining me at the premiere, then a ginormous hug for you. And if you're joining me at any other time, a ginormous hug for you as well. Have a wonderful day. I love you very much. And I cannot wait to see you again in the next video. Mwah. Bye. Just got an advert that told me to check the weather next time I go sailing. So I don't know who's been using my computer. It's a nice feeling to know the algorithm doesn't know me as much as I thought it did. I've never been sailing in my life, actually, but now I am thinking about it. It sounds kind of fun. Damn it. A scorpion's wormhole. It's way too much predict. It's way too much. What is wrong with me? Because, woohoo!